Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. Well, let's just say I'm glad I'm a flexible person. And I don't mean in terms of joints and movement based on all the mysterious sounds that sometimes occur, the clicking and the groaning of certain body parts. I do mean it in the sense that I had a plan. I kind of knew what I was going to do today, or at least in this video. And then, son of a gun, if there isn't a detour, a road closed sign, a hindrance of some sort. So let's do what seems to be destined to be done today. And that's, oh, sorry for the rustling. I just noticed something that I could be wiping this as I speak. I had a plan of doing something with stencils today because, you know, most of us have a lot of stencils, you know, bought new or thrifted, or some things maybe that we've had for years. And I don't know why this thing is anyway, and I dare say that if you're at all like me, you're not getting your money's worth out of the stencils you own, and they're probably taking up space, and you know, it's sort of lost potential in a sense. This is a little metal, what I would call an index box. I think that B would probably mean brown line, and of course it's old and somewhat noisy. And you can see that it was, you can tell it's old because it's from back in the day when things were still made of metal, and this kind of unattractive army green. That doesn't matter. It's what we have and what we have access to that matters. So I thought I was going to put some small stencils in here. And I thought, well, it would be better not to just throw them in willy-nilly. So I looked at my index cards. I realized that I had some that were the perfect size. And of course, I would be turning these letters away from me. And they have all been coffee dyed, which seems like maybe not a very good use of them for this project, for something like storage, but, you know, better than them sitting in a pile. So as I was searching for something else, of course, I found some things that, maybe I should just give this desk a quick wipe while I'm here, or while this thing is semi-moist. I found some other things that I am positive were thrifted. And of course, you know, it's stuck in a bag somewhere. So these seem to be, oh, I thought they had an adhesive back, but no, are they like little tiny pads? They're like, so, okay, well, this is cool. Nothing like looking at you, having a better look at your stuff. So it seems like it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe 6 of each letter. Now I doubt, it's probably the weird letters left and a few numbers. So this is one grouping. So I will just stick them in here and throw a divider in front of them. Then I have another batch that was obviously thrifted. Look how well that worked. And these haven't even been punched out. Now I'm not going to take the time to do this on the video because, clearly we all know how to do this. But it just occurs to me that these things are, in their current state, are not ready to use. And I think most of us find one of two things happens. Either we get an idea and we find that Everything is where we expected to find it, and it is ready to go. We don't have to be opening, you know, taking off covers, opening bags, fighting with those adhesive tabs on the you know, those little cellophane bags that whoa, I tore that one, that everything seems to come in these days. That's one happier scenario. The less efficient and less happy scenario is something like this. You get an idea, you discover, what is this exactly? That way I would almost think it's a Y, but the other scenario is you find something like this that you forgot you had, or didn't know where you had put it, or had never really fully explored it, the possibilities, because of course it was a good deal and you couldn't pass it up. You couldn't leave it behind. And then you find that you've got half a day's worth of work to even get ready to implement that brilliant idea that you had that has now escaped your mind. So I will continue to do these, punch these out as time allows. I will, and maybe I would keep, sorry, this thing has fallen over because of course there isn't enough in here yet. So let's put these negative things in their own category, in their own section, and then the positives, the mask part, in its own section. So I'll keep working on those. And then, of course, because I guess things happen in threes, I found yet another set. Now this seems to be, oh, it's a combination of things. And again, this is not, oh, they're coming out a lot easier than those cream colored ones. There is, there seems to be obviously other shapes. So, and of course, with two possible uses here. As with any stencil, we can simply take a pen or a marker or a pencil or whatever it is that we want and outline that heart. We can spray through this opening. Now that's rather a big, even though it's only 3.5 by 4.5, that could be rather big, unless of course we're working in an art journal and you know, on a larger format than just a typical 8.5 by 11. So, and of course the other thing is that we can use the positives. So maybe I needed a white square, or maybe I needed wanted a base, or decided, well, I'll never use that as a square, but I can cover it with something and it can become the base for a cluster or something like that. Maybe I'm doing an art journal spread and I need to say, I heart you. I have to say though, let's pick some more interesting ones. Don't like a chevron pattern, not sure why, but when you have the tendency to keep things, I'm not likely to throw this away. I am likely to keep it and maybe never use it. It's a crazy way of looking at things. It's a probably not the healthiest mindset out there, but I think one thing that becomes clear as we try to organize our spaces is that Our spaces, whether it's our studio, craft room, clothing closet, kitchen drawers, whatever, didn't get to be the state they're in because we're minimalists. That is laughable. So there is that very deliberate and I don't know, I don't want to say compulsive, but maybe sort of addictive kind of behavior. And it comes part and parcel with being, with having great imaginations and being creative. We see the possibilities. Those people who weren't lucky enough to get the creative gene would look at something like this and think, oh, I'm not in school anymore. I'll never need a stencil. And out it goes, either into the garbage and consequently the landfill, or into a donation box bag. And then you and I come along to that thrift store and think, holy cow, who was crazy enough to part with these stencils? Look at, they're so darn awesome. I can do so many things with that. If I live to be, 105, maybe. So I guess I just wanted to say that, in my opinion, part of getting organized means kind of being in a state of readiness. Being ready to just reach for and, reach for something because, number one, we know where it is and we can get to it from there. There's sort of that joke about, well, not joke, but that sort of line about, oh, you can't get there from here. Well, sometimes that's how I feel in my space. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I can see it. I know it's over there, but man, oh man, have I got stuff on the floor to, that I'd have to either move. And I think it was Kathleen Maurer in her organizing, she's part of the Cara Brandon thing in January 2025, who was just raving about this one particular piece of furniture, I guess furniture, equipment, whatever you want to call it, furniture, that is on casters. And I'm thinking, well, she's my kind of girl, because if I buy, bat in a ball, if I buy something and it doesn't have casters, that's one of the first things that I get my husband to do. And bless his heart, sometimes, depending if it's crappy IKEA type stuff or if it's vintage metal, sometimes that means building or cutting a plywood base so that you actually have something to put those, look, it's a wedding cake. Something substantial that you have to screw the casters into. Because, if you try to put that into particle board, press board, it's not going to end well, or it's not going to last if it does not fail immediately. So, yeah, I have many things on casters that I can easily move around. So I think that's definitely a plus. Now, when I got the bright idea that, I was going to now finally, wrong pile. I can, now that I am, why did I put the bat over there? Now that I am going to deal with this once and for all, how about a basketball? What am I going to put it in? So, ironically, in an effort to clean my floor and free up some floor space and deal with things that have just been parked temporarily in a no-tow zone. What I have been doing is, you know, a trip or two at a time, taking things downstairs to my overflow area. And I have to say I could practically open my own container store because, again, same sort of thing. See a basket, see a bin, see a box, think, I know what I could do. Oh, that would be perfect for, you know, whatever the scenario is. So I've got millions of solutions, storage solutions. And, you know, that is one of the cardinal rules that every organizer, professional organizer would tell us, you, me, is that we don't buy the containers first. Well, typically they would say you declutter first, see what you actually have, see what you actually need, and then buy accordingly. Most of us do it well, I'll speak for myself. I do it in the opposite order, and I venture to say I'm not the only one doing that. So, of course, it's Murphy's Law. I'm looking around at the usual places on the floor that I have my fossil metal watch boxes and some cool baskets and, you know, whatever, different storage things. I think, oh, darn it, there's nothing here that I can use. Only to realize that, yes, of course, this little metal box happened to be here. Because, you know, like, some of my stuff gets around more than I do because it's coming from downstairs up and from upstairs down. And, you know, sort of, there's kind of one of two places this stuff could be. Anyway, I was happy that this was right here in the studio. I hadn't taken it down yet, and I think it's going to work just fine. I'm not going to make you watch all of this. I will see, I don't like stuff like this. I'm never going to do happy birthday. What I would probably do though, and let's do it right now, is cut birthday off. Happy, yes. Birthday, no. So I will continue to punch out these two sets of stencils and masks. I'll put them in that neat little box that I have there. And then you will see them reappear in an upcoming video that I intend to do on prepping pages for, sorry, this sentence is having trouble coming out because I something in my peripheral vision called to me. What was I saying? Oh, there'll be a video, I'll do that one next, on prepping pages in our art journals so that, number one, like this, they are ready to go, ready to use, and also serve the secondary purpose of the old fear of the blank page that afflicts writers and artists equally as much. You know, if you're writing the great Canadian novel, the advice is at the end of your writing session, start the next sentence. Don't, you know, kind of end where you know, don't end in a particular place. And then when you show up the next day, find that you have no idea what it is, where to go next. So likewise with Canvas or sketchbook or art journal or whatever. if we do some of that prep work, if we do some backgrounds, then we think, oh, okay, I had a plan. And actually, I just did a video yesterday. Can't remember when it's scheduled to appear. Maybe, well, it doesn't matter because it's immaterial. I don't know when you're going to watch this. I think I set it for a Sunday. Somehow I think people have more time to watch videos on Sundays. Anyway, you will see in that video that I came across, well, number one, I found the thing, the album, the book, and then I, rather than doing, again, best laid plans of mice and men, rather than doing what I thought I was going to do, I just picked up where I had left off probably a year or so ago. Now, I don't remember what the intentions would have been. I don't know what my plan was. However, I just picked up or carried on. Grateful that the background had been laid out. Grateful that some fussy cutting of images had been done. Grateful that I had a starting place, because otherwise, of course, from the viewer's perspective, it could be an awfully long video if we're starting from scratch. Now, of course, I have no way of knowing whether what I ended up doing was theoretically better or worse than what I had in mind a year ago when I started that page. And frankly, it doesn't matter, because I'm not the same person I was a year ago. I'm not, presumably I have more advice, more skill, more expertise, more hard-won, hard lessons learned kind of thing at my disposal. Plus one's tastes and priorities change as well. So I'm counting that as a win and a good thing. I don't normally do, call outs or subliminal messages to viewers, but I will say that, Deanna, if you are watching this video, and you know who you are, the Organized Miss, would you please reach out to me via email? And my email is always at the bottom of my description box below every video. Would you please reach out to me and share your email address with me? I want to have some direct communication with you, if you don't mind. So, oh, and I should say, and again, I don't know when this will be viewed, congratulations to Teresa, who is grandma. She was hoping for a cuter name for herself, but she's grandma to the latest grandchild, who was born, well, in my time, just 2 days ago. And she sent me some pictures of that little sweetheart, so that was cool. I know that that Teresa has, this is now the 4th grandkid, and the 6th grandkid, 4th girl. And I know that in the past, she has watched my videos with some of her grandchildren. And I was just thinking about this the other day. You may have heard me say in the past that I sometimes just approach strangers. Don't talk to strangers. I sometimes approach strangers, mothers, to say, when they have a baby all dolled up in an animal print, I say, you know what? Love that. It's never too soon to start wearing animal prints. So likewise with YouTube videos, it's never too soon to start indoctrinating the next generation of YouTube subscribers and viewers. So kudos to you, Teresa. I think your kids are really lucky to have you so involved in their in the grandkids' lives. And I can't wait for little Emery to be listening to and watching some videos. So happy to do a shout out to you as well. I'm going to stop there. Other than, I will show you one last thing. And I'll sift through this and see what if it maybe has a possible there's an A. Has a possible future and a 3. What has a possible future what has a future in a art journal page? So just to show you that there's no end to the kinds of things that we're talking about, I have this sort of starburst thing as well as these rectangles. Now, this is unwieldy. It's too big to put anywhere. It is only paper. Now, this side has a glossy finish on it. So I think what I'll do, try to split the difference here. Of course, it's pretty darn close. I will split the difference here, trim that off, and if this thing isn't too tall, I will stick this in this same box. Because again, when things are hard to store and don't fit in nicely with their neighbors, they tend to not get used. And you can see that these came out of a book, obviously a perforated edge. And I would have punched out, in this case, lowercase letters. There's this. Now, again, I don't need this whole bit. Why have I been hanging on to that and that? So I'm going to get myself organized. I will probably show you this, although it's not going to be that exciting for you. I will show you this thing in a future follow-up Friday video. In the meantime, if you have something like this, where's my pokey tool, lurking in your closets or drawers or a bag or a box, maybe pull them out if you think you're ever going to use them. Prep them for use. Otherwise, let them go. Oh, I wish I had that quote within reach. I saw a really good quote the other day. I'll find it and add it into the description box. It, I don't know, maybe it can trick some of us into letting more things go. Anyway, guys, it was a pleasure to have you here today. I appreciate you all. And please, if you haven't, Anne-Marie, and I'm talking to you too, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And I, of course, appreciate your feedback. And, you know, if you feel like, why don't we think about the comments as a confessional? If you too have some story to share about something that you have, you know, had for far too long, haven't been using, and have been inspired to locate and prep for use or to donate. Either way, those are kind of the two options. Use it or donate it. Then let me know in the comments. And that is truly, that's when we get the reassurance that we're not alone, even if we're on a little on the, I was going to say weird, but maybe let's say quirky side. That number one, we're not alone. And it also creates rapport and empathy. because we know, we understand how the other person feels. We can commiserate. We can celebrate. If it's good news, we celebrate. If it's bad, we commiserate. Anyway, guys, I will stop there. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.